Dr. Jasmine Bob, Chairman of the Board of the National Culture Foundation, members of the Board of Directors of the NCF, Miss Carol Roberts, CEO of the NCF, and members and staff of the foundation, Miss Andrea Franklin, CEO of the BTMI, Miss Diane Ford, Head of Radio of the CPC, senior government officials, value sponsors, festival partners, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Before I ever had a ministerial portfolio, I had a proper plan to figure out which band I was going to jump with, which fest I was going to, which fest I absolutely could not miss. I had enough energy, enough vibes, and pure creative spirit to last the entire season. Cropova has always been one of those seasons I anticipated the most. So to stand here now on this side of it, not just as a patron, but as a minister with responsibility for culture and youth, is a full circle moment for me. And I say this sincerely, I am simply honored. As a young minister, still in my 20s, I do not take this responsibility lightly. I have been working, committing to learn, continuing to grow, and seeking out the people whose experience, wisdom, and commitment have sustained this cultural product over the years. I am grateful for the trust that has been placed in me, and more than that, I am ready for the challenge. It is therefore my honor and pleasure to officially launch the Cropova Festival of 2026. Cropova is Barbados' premier cultural festival, but more than that, it is one of the clearest expressions of who we are. Culture is the heartbeat of a nation, and Cropova is one of those moments where the heartbeat of Barbados can be heard loudly, far, and without apology. Its significance extends far beyond entertainment. It's a driver for tourism, a platform for artistic expression, a source of economic activity, and a cornerstone of Barbadian national identity. To know exactly where we are going, we must always remember where we came from. The festival traces its roots to the culmination of the annual sugarcane harvest, when our people mark the close of that season with singing, dancing, and the crowning of the king or queen of the crop. Even when the industry declined, the cultural significance of Cropova could not be ignored. That is why the revival in 1974 matters so deeply. It was not just the return of an event, it was a reaffirmation of a people, a memory, and a national spirit. Since then, Cropova has evolved into a cultural and entertainment showcase that attracts international attention while remaining deeply connected to our local communities. And this year, the truth carries even greater meaning. As Barbados gears towards 60 years of independence and our 5th year as a parliamentary republic, there is something especially powerful about seeing the cultural traditions we hold so dearly and proudly at the center of that journey. Milestones like these are not just about looking ahead. They're also about recognizing what has kept us grounded, what has shaped our confidence, and what has made us unmistakably Bajan. That is why Cropova 2026 must honor legacy while moving boldly into the future. Following the 2025 Cropova pilot, which provided us with our first baseline data set to guide future festival design, our strategic direction for 2026 is deliberate and forward-looking. We are focused on digital integration, enhanced patron experience, deeper community engagement, and robust sustainability. We want a festival that feels better, works better, reaches further, and delivers more for patrons, practitioners, artists, vendors, and for Barbados as a nation. And that brings me to one of the things that has already stirred up some real excitement across this country, and that is the return of the Party Monarch competition. When I made the announcement in Parliament last month, that the Party Monarch will be returning to Cropova, the response was immediate. You could feel it. There was excitement from artists, from fans, from ordinary Barbadians, from the stakeholders, everyone. And that type of energy is what we needed to push our festival to the next level. Then when we sat with stakeholders afterwards, it was one of the rare meetings that the room was not divided. In fact, it may have been one of the only times I have sat in a stakeholder meeting and heard people effectively say, there are no issues here, this is going well, this is what we needed to happen. That kind of alignment matters. It told us were not merely reviving an event, we were restoring a piece of cultural momentum that people genuinely miss. So we continue the work deliberately, carefully, and collaboratively to ensure that the Party Monarch competition does not simply recreate a memory, We want to give people the feeling that they remember, yes, but to go a step further and to create brand new memories, to create new performances, new stars, new rivalries, and new moments that a new generation can call its own. I still remember the days at East Coast when we had persons jumping out of helicopters and had to meet with fire trucks, and the real energy that exploded on Party Mother, and that was one of the key moments for me as a young person growing up. We want our young artists, the next generation of artists and entertainers, to see the stage as a launch pad. By infusing it with fresh energy, youth focus, inclusivity, and world-class production, we must ensure that the sounds of our ancestors do not disappear. They evolve into the anthems of our young people. But today, I want to go a step further. Because if the return of the Party Monarch brought excitement, I believe what I'm about to say will touch something deeper in the Barbadian spirit. I am proud and very happy to announce the return of Kahobla Pop for 2026. And let me say this clearly, this is not about bringing back something old for the sake of sentiment. Some may say, Minister, you have responsibility for youth, but you seem to be bringing back old things. But being youthful is not about rejecting the past. Youth is not allergic to legacy. Youth knows how to recognize value, refresh it, and make it matter again. And there's nothing new under the sun, but there's always room for renewal. Real freshness is not amnesia. Real freshness is knowing what was good and having the vision and capability to present it in a way that belongs fully to the cultural environment we live in now. That is the spirit in which we are bringing back Kahobla Pop, not as a museum piece, not as a replay, but as a re-energized cultural experience for a new generation and a beloved return for those who remember the magic. For many Barbadians, Kahobla Pop was never just another event on the calendar. It was a spectacle, it was performance, it was culture. It was the meeting point of music, design, and national excitement in one place. We are bringing it back with fresh thinking, stronger production, and a clear sense of how it must sit within Krakova today. Initiatives like these matter because they do more than just add events to a calendar. They create spaces where Barbadians can see themselves in each other again. They remind us that culture still has the power to bring people together. Whether it is in the church-going family, the university student, the youngster the young professional in the private sector, or the youngster even on the block. That is why it is also important that initiatives like the Prime Minister's Cup are so important. They help to build a spirit of unity across this island, drawing people from different walks of life into one shared experience, one shared energy, and one common purpose. In a time when so much can divide us, these moments like these can help to bring us closer and more together as a people. But as we reimagine these flagship events, we are also reimagining how they are delivered. For the first time ever, the government of Barbados, through the NCF, will open the opportunity for qualified private sector entities to bid for the execution of key festival events, including the Party Monarch and the Kahobla Pop. This is not a step back from responsibility. It is a step forward into partnership. Because if Krakova belongs to us, then its growth must be powered by all of us. By inviting experienced promoters, production companies, creative enterprises to participate, we are unlocking new levels of innovation, new levels of investment, and global competitiveness. It allows us to bring fresh capital, cutting-edge production, international standard for production, staging, and expanded market reach, while maintaining the cultural integrity and national identity that defines this festival. And importantly, it creates economic opportunity. It allows Barbadian businesses to grow, to scale, and to become exporters of our culture and not just participants within it. That is how we strengthen Krakova, not just as a festival, but as an industry. And I say that with even more conviction because I returned from New York only last night after representing Barbados at the United Nations ECOSOC Youth Forum. In these conversations, one point came through clearly. Development must be measured not just by what we build, but by whether it changes the lives of our people. Meeting with young leaders, diplomats, and development partners reminded me that what youth require is not only a space to be heard, but spaces worth inheriting, Spaces shaped by identity, opportunity, creativity, and shared ownership. That lesson matters here at home too, because sometimes, yes, what we need is youthful vigor. We need fresh ideas. We need new lenses. We need people prepared to see things from a different angle. But what is part of that equation? What brings everything together is experience. People often talk about youth and experience as though it is cliche. It is not cliche because it is real. It is how strong institutions are built. It is how culture survives. It is how a festival like Propovo gets stronger from one generation to the next. So I want to thank the stakeholders, the practitioners, the creatives, the organizers, the band leaders, the technicians, the corporate sponsors, the full ecosystem who continue to pour wisdom, time, belief, and more importantly, finances into this festival. This season is being shaped not by one ministry or one office alone, but by collective effort. Propovo belongs to every single Barbadian, from St. Lucie to St. Philip, from St. Andrew to St. James. So whether you jump in a band, perform on a stage, sell from a stall, welcome visitors, or simply enjoy the festivities from your veranda, Festo Propovo is ours. And because it belongs to all of us, its value must be understood in full. For the vendor, Propovo means opportunity, a more streamlined licensing process, and a platform to showcase Barbadian flavors. For the artist, it means exposure, income, creative growth, and the possibility of the next big breakthrough. For the nation, it is a critical economic engine. It drives tourism, supports livelihoods, contributes to GDP, and helps sustain the growth and stability we are building as a country. But more importantly, Propovo unites all of us. At the same time, our promise to both locals and visitors is a unique, authentic cultural experience produced to a world-class standard. That means we are auditing our venues for accessibility, enhancing security protocols, and refining our signature events. As we innovate, we are also actively addressing how we can better serve you. Propovo 2026 presents a massive opportunity to build upon the festival's legacy while innovating for the future. Our strategic direction is focused on enhancing the experience for all participants and optimizing how we operate from start to finish. So yes, we are celebrating heritage, but we are also building forward. We are designing a festival that is more connected, more responsive, more inclusive, more sustainable, and more reflective of the excellence we know Barbados can produce. I want to especially commend the National Cultural Foundation team led by Miss Carol Roberts for the tremendous work they have been doing. After carrying major national responsibilities through Carifesta, NIFCA, Regathering, and Propovo, amongst many other events last year, they have continued to press forward with energy and with excellence. So we must give them a round of applause. And to now be delivering a strong festival, including the return of the party monarch and the corporal pot, is by no means a small feat. They have my full support and every confidence. Let us all acknowledge and endorse the cultural significance of this festival. Let us protect it, let us grow it, and let us celebrate it together. Barbados, the harvest is ready. Let the festivals begin. Let us celebrate our heritage, embrace those exciting innovations, and ensure that Propovo 2026 is our most successful, memorable, and sustainable yet. Thank you.